Thanks, Joan. Good afternoon, everyone. The usual cautionary statement. So Mirasol, we're a project generation and exploration company focused in Chile and Argentina. We have 4 partner-funded projects in Chile, which are 2 with Newcrest, 1 with First Quantum, and a new with a private equity firm out of Santiago called Mineria Activa. We have 3 advanced exploration projects that I'll talk about briefly. Beyond that, we've got sort of a whole portfolio of development and pipeline properties. So what's the strategy of the company? We're a project generator, but we're also at the same time sort of a hybrid strategy, I would say, where some stuff we do self-funding on higher grade projects, easier infrastructure, lower elevation, a little bit lower exploration risk. Partner funded on sort of larger projects, probably higher exploration risk and more expensive to test. And I think this strategy works very well for a company like Mirasol because we have a whole variety of projects, from high sulfidation up at 4,500 meters to lower, higher grade stuff down south, either in Argentina or Chile. So let's look at the Mirasol funded exploration first. This is Los Amarillos, which is sort of central Chile in the Paleocene belt. This is a package that we consolidated in June of 2019. We acquired sort of the western part of the ground from Anami, which is sort of the sister company of Codelco. We think this is a pretty rare opportunity in Chile because we've got high-grade samples sitting right at surface, good infrastructure, and no evidence of previous drilling. So right now we're doing a trenching and IP geophysics program. Just started trenching this week to sort of see what the high grades are doing. And then we'll drill probably second quarter of this year. We have some pretty good geochem on surface, which you can see here. We have gold on the left, silver on the right. So we've got a whole series of sort of northwest trending veins down through here. You can see we have samples, a lot of samples above an ounce, up to 330 grams per ton. We've also got a stockwork zone up here that looks like it may be more of a bit of a bulk mineable situation. So you're looking at sort of subcrop here. We think that bedrock is about 1 meter down, sort of seeing almost the traces of the veins on surface, but not quite. And also some pretty reasonable silver grades, especially up here in the northern section of the property. So the next steps there, we're going to trench, which is ongoing. This picture, the machine was actually taken this week. We've just started. IP geophysics has started, and then we'll be drilling probably in Q2. The idea is to sort of, east-west trenches against those structures, particularly in the south and the stockwork up in the north. See what it looks like, see how the IP matches, and then base our drilling on that. This is a new one, Inca Gold, which we just got the agreement signed with Newmont in January of this year, so sort of a new partner for us. And this is an earn-in. We're earning into this project. It is located down here near the town of Inca del Oro. So that's Los Amarillos that we just talked about, town of El Salvador, and a Codelco mine right there. Just for reference, this is our Altazor project. This is our Gorbea project. There's the Solaris Norte project of Goldfields. And we're down here at the new Inca project. Again, it's we think a pretty unique situation where you've got beautiful looking veins sitting on surface and hasn't been drilled. Pretty simple deal for us. It's a earn-in for 100% over 5 years, drilling 1,000 meters, incurring $3 million in expenses, and we own 100% of it. Newmont does have a back-in right. They can back in up to 70%, which is sort of in 2 stages. Simplified, it's paying us our exploration expenditures of $3 million, and then delivering either a pre-feasibility study or doing additional $21 million in exploration work. The only commitment we've got is 1,000 meters of drilling, so pretty simple one for us. I guess worst case is Newmont backs in, and we have 30% of a Newmont size project. There is actually 5 targets at Inca, and we are concentrating on Sandra down to the south, We'll evaluate the other ones, but certainly the 1,000 meters of drilling that we're going to do will be taken up at the Sandra prospect. It's a little bit of a mirror image, kind of Los Amarillos, where at Los Amarillos we've got really high-grade samples on surface, but we're not quite sure about what the veins or stockwork zones are doing. Here we've got these aren't bad, they're not bad geochem. It's certainly not. You've got silver on the left, gold on the right in this one. It's not Los Amarillos type values, but still reasonable. But what we do have is a great big epithermal vein sitting there, which you can see in this picture. And this actually, it's hard to tell, but this vein goes up that hillside and bifurcates into 3 different structures up on top. And this can be traced for a couple of kilometers. So pretty simple drill target. We're still going to go in and do some channel cut samples and some IP geophysics. Permitting, we have to do the community engagement, and then drilling probably the latter half of this year. So we're really excited about this project. Then sort of, sitting in the background maybe a little bit is the partner-funded exploration with Newcrest and First Quantum and Minera Activa. So these are the 4 deals, and I won't go into a huge amount of detail, but you can sort of see Gorbea and Altazor, those are both Newcrest. So they do a certain amount of expenditures to get up to 51%, then they do something else to get up to 75, a PEA or feasibility study, and then it's a joint venture is struck after that. Coronation with First Quantum is a little simpler. It's 80%. They earn up to 80%. Then it's an 80-20 joint venture. We can negotiate with them for the 20% if that's what we decide to do. The MOU with Minera Activa is a simple. They're doing work and buying into it 100%. Because they're a private equity, so the JV model didn't really make a lot of sense for them. So the first one is Gorbea. This is the Newcrest joint venture. They're following up on previous results to better define the mineralization. It's a big property. Drilling is ongoing there. We just released some results after market close yesterday. Probably a little hard to see all the detail in this map. But what we released yesterday is hole 1A, which was 164 meters at half a gram. You can see the previous hole that was drilled by Yamana here, 114 meters at 1.07 and 36 meters at 2.49. It looks like what Newcrest is doing is sort of vectoring outside a little bit and it's kind of working their way in on it. So we released up through hole 5 yesterday. Right now they're drilling 6 and 7. We have assays pending on those. Those are finished, and then they're drilling 8 right now. The next step, they're going to finish 8, see what the results are, and interpret and see where they go from there. It's sort of mid-field season in South America, so they still have a lot of work to do. Altazor, which is quite a ways up north, right there. Newcrest does have drill targets for that. They're doing community engagement now, trying to get community buy-off on the exploration work. It's again another high sulfidation epithermal, high altitude, your 4,500 meters plus, and probably won't get a drill program this field season, but will, we think, by the end of 2020. Coronation, this is a new one. It's a porphyry copper, maybe high sulfidation type target as well. We signed the option agreement with them in October of 2019. They're mapping, sampling, geophysics, sample collecting for age dating. Probably won't drill this field season, but again, hopefully by the end of this year or into the next field season. Deal Ready project. I'm almost running out of time, so I'll zip through this. Sasha Marcelina. This is a large low sulfidation in Santa Cruz province in Argentina. Underexplored district where we are. It's about 100 kilometers south of Newmont's Cerro Negro mine and looks very similar both in geology and geomorphic setting. Large alteration footprint. We got some good high-grade gold out of the Estancia trend and Igloo trends, which are sort of new ground that we've acquired. And we're currently sort of showing the property to a couple of partners, and I think we should be able to do a deal on that here probably in the next 2 or 3 months. This is just the Estancia trend, which is sort of the western part. You can sort of see, I mean, that's 500 meters there. So we've got sort of 3+ kilometers of interpreted vein. And down here, when we get into the lower, sort of more permissive formation, we're getting up to almost an ounce of gold in rock chip samples. So this is a pretty obvious drill target going forward. So news flow will be coming out of Chile, Los Amarillos and Inca Gold. You know, we like that because now we can sort of, with these 2 projects going, control our news flow and sort of be the masters of our own fate here. Plus in the background, you've got the multiple partner-funded drilling and exploration programs at Gorbea, Coronation, Altazor, and Nord. And we'll continue doing BD, particularly Sasha Marcelina in Argentina. Just the 45 million shares outstanding, well-funded. We had 20 million at September 30th, a little bit less than that now, but not much, and a market cap of 28 million. Thank you.